Hey guys, it's Chelsea Messenger with Picks and Parlays. College football is finally back. If you like our content, we'd really appreciate it if you give us a like, share our stuff, and if you want a notification every time we post a new video, hit the bell. We are
Yeah.
talking BYU at Navy. In this one, BYU is favored on the road, -2 after opening as 1.5 point underdogs. So we've got Chip Chirimbes joining us, and he is exactly the person I would love to talk to about this one because when you see a line move like that, you can tell some things about the game and how it might shape up. Chip, you're a real pro when it comes to reading some of
Uh,
these line movements. What does that say to you, and is that a red flag when it comes to betting on either of these teams?
I think it comes off of the fact that BYU had such a disappointing year last year at 7-6, and here's Navy winning their bowl game, coming out 11-2. But Navy, when you inspected and looked at it, lost all of their firepower for the most part. And BYU, Zach Wilson was their quarterback. And he missed the good part of last season. He finished the last three games, threw for over 900 yards in those final three games. And I think the fact that he's come back and is the reason. And of course, I think BYU has a little bit more national stature than does the Navy, and I think that was the first move, was the first hit. I expect BYU to get even higher by game time, but when you tell me that Navy opened the favorite, I think the bookmakers actually like them, and maybe it was the public or some really sharp people that moved BYU earlier. I hope it was more public action than really sharp people because I'm leaning toward Navy here without question.
Right, especially at home. And I think another thing to consider is the service academies run the triple option, and sometimes that can be really hard to defend for a lot of these teams. Granted, they've got a little bit more time to prepare, but Navy's coming off a really good season. As you mentioned, they lost Malcolm Perry, who was a
Yeah,
very big part of their offense. He passed for 1,000 yards and rushed for 2,000 more.
right.
But it's really hard to pick against Navy at home, in my opinion. I'm not going to give out a pick in this one, but that's really surprising to me, especially a service academy. Is there anything else that you would think about when betting this one?
Yeah, there's quite a few things, Chelsea. I mean, look at BYU. The last seven times they've been favored, they're 0-7 to the number. They're 2-6 to the number in non-conference play, and Navy is 7-1 at home as an underdog. They're 13-3-1 against the points overall in their last 17. And one thing about, I always like playing the service academies early in the season because these guys have been together all year. There is no vacations where they came back and they were worried about the virus. They're together all the time. And, it's just the way of life. It's sort of like when we've spoken about how when teams go on the road in baseball, more often than not, that's when they start the winning streaks because they're camaraderie, they're together. And this Navy team will have been together for years, actually. And to tell you the truth, I think the kind of system they have, they can just plug in another guy into that system that ran for over 3,600 yards last year. Now, Malcolm Perry had over 2,000. So that means there were 1,600 yards by the rest of their running backs as well. So I'm going to take the Navy here. I think it's a spot for them. And plus the fact I want to be patriotic. I got the flag behind me, and we're going to go blue like the Navy.
Oh, always good to bet for America, quote unquote.
Right. One of the problems, not only has BYU lost their All-American tight end, Matt Bushman, he's out for the year, ACL problem. But, they had the worst, or not the worst, they were 120 out of 130 inside the red zone last year. And that's got to get better for the Cougars. That's why they were 7-6. They didn't put the ball in the end zone. Navy's going to be tough. They're going to control the ball. And I'm looking forward to this one. I really am. Contrast in styles, without question. BYU is going to be lighting it up through the air. And the Navy, of course, isn't going to go by the sea, but they're going to go by ground.
Especially if they can get an early lead, because as you mentioned, they can really control the clock with that
Yep.
triple option. So it will be interesting for sure, this Labor Day matchup. As always, good stuff from Chip Chirimbes. That's going to do it for BYU Navy Talk here on Picks and Parlays.